Podcast, man, and it's certain moments that you have when you do these things, and I think it's more the moment.
These guys came from Woodland, Delaware.
Where are you from?
Now, who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him.
Listen, man, it's your boy D-Mac, man. Fire Nice Podcast.
Let me see him. Let me see him.
Welcome to the Fire Nights Experience pregame show. January 1st. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody woke up. Hope everybody's safe. It's your boy Coach P with my man, the esteemed Dr. Z, a.k.a. Fresh Fire, a.k.a. Fresco, a.k.a. the man of the hour, a.k.a. all that. How you feeling this new year, bro?
I'm feeling good, man. Happy New Year's to everybody out there, man. I hope everything you had bad, everything that was weighing you down is now left in 2022. This is now 2023. We got some great weather, and it just happens to be a hell of a football Sunday.
Absolutely, man. What'd you do last night? Anything special, or you did the old man special, or the season? Did you do the seasoned man special?
I did the season man special last night, man. That's sort of kind of where my lane is, man. I had some things I had to get done, but I was just in the crib, man. Just me and Baby Love doing how we do. We did a little extra last night. We had the smooth grooves going. I was spinning up a mean jam last night.
Smooth R&B.
No. Well, first, before 12 o'clock, we was getting real jumped up, amped up. We had a lot of, I don't mean it, I don't need
Best
to have a lot of that going
on. Man, I appreciate that.
Huh?
I don't know about the Go Giants part. Best podcast in the Tri-State. We appreciate that, man. Thanks for the love, man. We appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to the bro JT, man. But after 12 o'clock, that's when the smooth groove started going down. We switched the pitch up. But I actually made it to 12 o'clock. So, I know this was the first time in a couple years I actually made it to 12 o'clock without having to set my alarm or nothing like that, man. I'm getting old, man. And I ain't wake up with swamp ass this morning. So it's win-win for everybody in this motherfucker.
Listen, hold on. For those that don't know, man, swamp ass is a real thing, man. Explain to those that don't know what swamp ass is, man, because that's a real thing.
Well, yo, man, swamp ass, man. I would like to say, man, I got it from my good brother, man, Omar Owens, Tay, man, back in the days, man. When you get to drinking some shit, and the next morning you wake up and you had that hot, warm, swarmy, just wet, liquidy shit coming out your ass. You know what I'm saying?
When you got to shit like 3 times in like an hour and a half.
Yeah. That's usually called what they call swamp ass or what they call Brazilian diarrhea. So.
But so accurate though, the accuracy is swamp ass, man. I can dig it. I've had swamp ass many a morning, man. I'm moving past that stage. Swamp ass is getting less and less prevalent in my life because I'm being a bit smarter in terms of my intake and that normally the swamp ass comes with the reckless drinking, man, the multiple different types of drinks. I find if you stay in one lane and you find what gives you swamp ass, let's stay away from that. So swamp ass is a real thing, though. Swamp ass is a very real thing. But listen, let's dive into this thing, man. Let's dive right in, man. It is Sunday. That's why we're here. Let's dive right into this thing head first, off the big ricks. You know what I mean? The big cliff. Head first, no regard. Let's get into it, man. First game on the docket. We got the first early game. We got the Giants and the Colts. First, let's go down the injury report before we say anything. Ashton Dulin is ruled out. Kenny Moore is ruled out. Yannick Ngakoue is questionable. Kylan Granson is out. And for the Giants, speaking of, how ironic, Adoree Jackson is doubtful. Azeez Ojulari is questionable. Leonard Williams, limited participation in practice, but it looks like he's a go. Dexter Lawrence, full participation in practice, looks like he's a go. So who you got in this one, bro?
I actually got the Giants in this one, man. I got the Giants, man. I think they lock up a playoff berth this weekend. They've been a team that I think they have maxed out every single bit of energy, strength, resources that they have on their team. They've done everything they could do with all the resources that they have to them, man. Probably even a little bit more, man, because they've actually exceeded my expectations for them. They haven't been playing losing football. They've only just played up to their maximum abilities. I think today they become rewarded for playing as high a level of football as they can play all season with a playoff berth with a win today.
I agree. It's an easy one for me. I got the Giants. They're playing at home in MetLife. I think this is more coaching than anything as well, because like you said, they play in a certain brand of football, and along with that, it's got to be a lot of good decision making as well. So shout out to Brian Daboll, man. He is charged that particular fan base with something that they can look forward to, not just this year, but a brand of football that they can look forward to. Because at the end of the day, you make the playoffs right now, it looks like they're probably going to have like maybe a third place divisional finish. So you get the benefit of that third place schedule next year. You get some draft picks, you get some fresh offensive talent in there. I think it's looking up for the Giants, man. It's a good franchise right now. I think they pointed in the right direction. With that being said, I think we got the Giants. Of course, the fight in Jeff Saturdays could make it interesting. But I think at the end of the day, Giants pull this one out, man. 24-14. I'm gonna say 24-14. Who you got? What score you got?
Well, I think the Giants are really, to me, man, I think the Colts, man, they've been as valiantly as they've played, man. I think they've been shooting themselves in the foot. And aside from the first game, the Jeff Saturday coach, they have actually regressed back to the team that they were before Jeff Saturday got hired. So I think they've shot their low.
Let's discuss that for a second. It's interesting that you brought that up, because I thought that before Jeff Saturday got there, they looked putrid, very difficult to score points. They didn't look like a football team that knew what the fuck they were doing. They didn't look like an NFL football team. But I'll say with Jeff Saturday there, they're making games interesting. They weren't interesting at all. Like that to be putting up 24 some odd points. That's a team that's got some things. But unfortunately, I think Jeff is more of an energizer and not necessarily a decision maker. So what you're seeing, the end product, is they're actually losing some of these games, and that's attributed directly to coaching. This is his first go round. He's making a lot of errors, but the team is a little different team to me. It seems like a different team energy wise. They're competing, man. And that's all you could really ask. They're definitely competing.
That's totally fair, bro. That's totally fair. But from what I've seen from the Indianapolis Colts, actually, to me, I'm not going to say it was. I think it was. They jumped the gun just a little bit on firing the coach. I think the injury bug really hurt them earlier in the season because they were actually very. They were very competitive on the defensive side of the ball, and they've had significant injuries on both sides of the ball early in the season, and they took the Eagles to the mat. They actually beat Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? They was playing a whole lot of people tough on defense.
They had Minnesota dead to rights. If
right,
not,
and that's what I'm saying.
A collapse of epic all-time proportions,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They was actually playing a little tougher. I mean, they was playing just as tough before Jeff Saturday had got hired. And that's what I'm saying. Aside from the win, it seems like, okay, well, that jolt has maybe left them now. And the 33, the 33-point losing of the lead kind of shows that. Now. Right. He's like, okay, well, now we're back to the old Indianapolis Colts, and they could be Frank Wright or Jeff Saturday or Mike Monday or Frankie February. You feel what I'm saying? So moving along.
Next game on the docket, on the 1 o'clock tilt, we got Dolphins at the Patriots. Dolphins at 8-7, Patriots at 7-8. Jesus Christ, do the Dolphins need this game? They are spiraling badly. Tua has looked like the guy that took a lot of criticism. This Tua is literally welcoming all of the criticism. This is the guy that all the criticism was for. You know what I mean? So he has played himself out of the MVP conversation over the past 3 to 4 weeks. They need this game badly. And I quite frankly, I don't know where to go with this one. I really don't. What's your thoughts?
Man, this one right here is going to be tough because it seems like Tua may have been the important cog that made this team run.
What's your motto? What's your motto, though? It's something. Well, you got about 20 mottos. They're all very, very, very poignant, and they're all prevalent. But listen. What specifically with Tua? You have a motto where you say, "What's the best ability?"
Availability.
Unfortunately, guess what? Today he's out. So
this is a day. It could have been a very pivotal and very iconic milestone game for Tua. This could have been a game for them to clinch a playoff berth. It could have been a game for him, legacy-wise, for him to sort of kind of put away some of the doubters and haters, to talk about, the narrative that's going on. But it's these type of situations that keep the narrative alive and keep it, keep fuel in it when you're not around for your team to clinch the playoff berth. It seems like you are the important linchpin in this offense that makes it go. I have a lot of confidence in Teddy Bridgewater, but what I am saying is
the pop is not going to be there, though. That pop, at least from the outside looking in, the first flash thought is that the pop is not going to be there in a game where they need it, because right. Bill Belichick's going to take away your best weapon. That's the first thing on the scouting report he's going to do, and it's just going to be a matter of whether Bridgewater can get to the ancillary weapons. You know what I mean? And that's not to say you can stop Tyreek Hill, but we all know the Bill Belichick philosophy. So with that being said, I'm going to let you go first on this. I got to process this one because I don't know. And when I don't know, I tend to go with what I think is the ballsy pick. So I got to think about this. What's your pick on this one?
On this one here, man, I think this one's going to be a knockdown, drag out. I really think Miami is going to fight tooth and nail to the end. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to make a couple more plays than people think he's going to make. But with that being said, I actually think I'm going with the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are actually still in the playoff hunt.
They're still in the hunt. They're still in the hunt.
They still have
right now. They still hunting.
they still have what I perceive as the greatest football mind, Bill Belichick. They still have a strong
Hard to bet
defense.
against that.
It's
Even
hard. I
even
mean, this is
no
the
matter
time
what
of
the
year
condition they're
when
in.
his
Yeah,
medal shows. This is the time of year when he pulls it all together, and like they say, he makes you play left-handed. This is the time of the year, like, okay, well, if you don't have all your stuff together, we're going to make you get it together today.
Excellent point.
And he's been playing a very conservative brand of ball. We're not going to beat ourselves aside from that very, very, very fluky end of the football game. So I'm actually going with
that might have been, oh wow, that was crazy. That's one you look back at, and if you miss the playoffs, you say, God damn it.
that one.
That's one that it's not like Bill to be the guy that's so detail oriented, man. You got to look at that game and just be like, you got to be fucking kidding me to lose a game like that. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots, and I think this is a very because we've seen the highs and lows of the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is gonna be one of the lows. I think the slide continues. I got the Patriots 27 to. I'm going to say 27-17. 27-17.
I got it a little bit closer than that because I think it's going to be a tough knockdown drag out. I think the Patriots will control the clock with ball control and running with Ramondre Stevenson. I think it's going to be closer to 21, maybe 20. Yeah, 21-20.
Moving on. Next game on the tilt, we got the Bears, the Monsters of the Midway, traveling to Detroit to play the Lions. Significant injuries for the Lions. They have a mash unit, but it looks like they got guys. They don't have any guys out for the Bears. For the Lions, however, Kayode Awosika is out. Deshaun Elliott is out. They've got Justin Jackson is questionable. Frank Ragnow is questionable. Josh Woods is questionable. So who do you got in this one?
As much as I've seen, the Bears Justin Fields giving the Bears enough to go and say, all right, let's see if we can put the requisite weapons around them and see what we got going forward. I don't think they can go into Detroit right now, who's playing a pretty good brand of football, and they actually have something to play for. I actually think Detroit
they're still in the hunt.
Yeah, they're in the hunt. They're in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? I actually think that they actually put their foots on Chicago's necks and actually takes off on them today. I think Justin Fields is going to hold them in as long as he can hold them in, but I just don't think they're going to have enough. I think the score will be the Detroit Lions 31, Chicago 17.
I agree with that. I agree. I agree across the board on that. Lions march on. They put the pressure on the teams ahead of them to win. Today is not a day for Justin Fields. He's box office though, fun guy to watch. But they lose today. I don't think that they could beat the Lions today. Lions are revving on all cylinders right now. They're in the hunt. They're in the weeds, picking people off as they go. Give me the Lions. Next game on the tilt. 1 o'clock tilt. We got the Panthers traveling to Tampa Bay to battle Tommy Football. Let's see what we got here as far as the injury report so the guys can get their roster straight. We got Marquise Hayes, questionable. We got J.C. Horn, question. He's out. Let's see here. That's a big one to me. And for the Buccaneers, we've got cornerback Carlton Davis is doubtful. Julio Jones is questionable. Donovan Smith questionable. Jamel Dean questionable. Vita Vea questionable. Antoine Winfield questionable at safety position. Looks like reads like a mash unit. It's a very long injury report. Some did not practice, some limited participation, that sort of thing. Who you got in this one?
I mean, it's hard to go against Tommy this time of the year, all the things he's accomplished, all the things that he knows, all the things that he can do for a team. But this year, man, I haven't seen him put it together really for a whole game, let alone, games at a time. I've seen flashes and maybe stretches in games. Depending on what time it is in the game, it might win you a game or lose you a game. I think I went on record. Well, I know I went on record, I think a couple weeks ago, by actually changing my pick of who was going to win the division in the South from those Tampa Bay Buccaneers to these now Carolina Panthers.
I think we both did. Because of the way the Panthers were playing and the way the Bucks were looking. But that, it's the NFL, and as we see, things change quickly.
Yeah,
on a dime.
I actually think that I think those guys got old fast in front of our eyes down in Tampa Bay. It got late early, as they say. It got late early in Tampa Bay, and I don't think they have enough to pull it out, man. Like you said, everybody's questionable. Everybody's questionable, and I just can't see them just mustering up enough. I know it's hard to go against Tommy, but I'm actually picking the Panthers in a tough division game, and actually, which for all intents and purposes, is a playoff game for these guys. I actually like the Panthers. I like what they got going on a little bit more than the Bucks. Giving the Panthers in a tough divisional game. I think somebody made me get ejected from the game. Emotions overflow. Give me the Panthers 23-21.
I'm going to go the other way.
Okay.
Give me the Bucks. Nobody wants to give Tom the kill shot, so he's going to keep winning right now. It's winning time, and they got 2 games left. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks in a tight divisional game. I'm going to go 20-17. Bucks pull this one out. Nobody wants to kill Tom, so hey, Tom is going to be like Michael Myers around this bitch. Until you kill him, he'll be around. Next game on the tilt, we have the Saints travel into the link to play the Eagles. Eagles literally are playing for nothing today. Let's read the injury report for the Saints. Linebacker Caden Ellis is out. We got safety Marcus May is out. We got some questionables. Chase Hansen, linebacker, is questionable. Alvin Kamara was full participation in practice, so he's probably a go. Marshawn Lattimore, cornerback, limited participation in practice. He's downgraded to questionable. We've got Chris Olave, limited participation in practice, questionable. Eagles, on the other hand, they have multiple players, limited in practice. Jalen Hurts is doubtful. Avonte Maddox is out. Lane Johnson is out. He suffered a big one. I think he's out for the year, if I'm not mistaken. So, to be honest with you, considering that, where the Eagles sit, it's an interesting game because ultimately they may feel like, we'll treat this like a preseason game, give our starters multiple snaps and get them the fuck out of there, which could be problematic going into the playoffs because they're literally playing for nothing right now. They're playing for nothing. So how do they view this game? Do they take it serious and get them the fuck out of here? I think the Eagles still beat the Saints. I think handily, although they don't blow them out. I don't think the Saints have the requisite scoring ability. That defense is still that defense. So I don't think they'll put up enough points to hang with the Eagles. Give me the Eagles 24-10. And then next week, the Eagles rest everybody and get everybody healthy.
I can't lie to you, man. This game right here on the docket gives me different vibes and energy. It gives me.
Does it stink? Does it stink of upset? Is that what you said?
It's got a stench to it. It's got a stench to it.
It's got a stench to it.
It's got a stench to it, man. I'm not a fan of rest versus rust. I'm not a fan of rest. I'm like we got to keep dancing with the girls or dance with the person you brought to the dance. However you've been playing up until this long, we have to keep this up and actually get better.
Do you believe in limited snaps, though? Do you believe in limited snaps, maybe?
No, I don't.
No?
The only time limited snaps is in preseason.
Creature habit and routine.
Well, here's the thing. That once you get out of your habit, you really have no idea what it's going to take to get you back in your habit. You feel what I'm saying? You think, okay, everybody thinks they can just turn it back on. And then you think, man, there's something missing here. I'm doing everything the same I was, but there's something missing here. As opposed to, let's not stop it at all to try to have to rebuild it and fix it and bring it back up to speed. Let's not stop it. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep the shoulder against the boulder.
But out of 22 starters, if one starter doesn't necessarily, it it's a chain reaction. It kind of throws this, you doing this a different way slightly than you were before. Now this guy has to compensate, and now because he has to compensate, overcompensate, there's certain it's like cogs in a watch. You throw
Right.
it off, man, and it's like, I don't know. That's a delicate thing. I still think the Eagles pull this out 24-10. I think it's limited snaps. They get this thing done early, and I think they get some guys the fuck out of there because I think the defense generates a couple turnovers a day. I think the defense might even generate a score or two. Offense has maybe an off day, a lot of groundwork. I don't think there's going to be too many explosive plays. Gardner Minshew, I think he comes down a bit. Gardner Minshew's capable of being explosive, but I think today is a day where the Eagles just try to get him the fuck out of here and get off the field. I think that's going to be the mentality.
I'm not saying I'm opposed to if the Eagles are up, got things, in the bag. Okay, yeah, take some guys out. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not opposed to that. But as opposed to going into the game, we're going to sit some guys down and wait until next week just because we have, options and resources to go ahead and get some things done different ways. I'm not really with that. You know what I'm saying? But if you go out into the game and you up 30-7, third quarter, no, come on, man. Let's start pulling guys. We've wrapped up some things. I'm with that. I'm definitely with that. But as opposed to going into the game, now you sit down, healthy scratches. Now, I'm not really with healthy scratches. But right. I actually think, man, Lamar has given the Eagles trouble. I'm not sure. I have a lot of faith in Gardner Minshew. I love the stash. I'm not sure how this defense is going to, hold up. For some reason, man, there's something about the New Orleans Saints when they play the Eagles. They play them tougher than everybody thinks they should play them.
Well, I think that's the strength of the New Orleans Saints is the defense. That's definitely the strength. We know it's not the offense. You still got Cam Jordan out there. You still got some, and then they've always had a great secondary. So it's just a matter of whether that offense can give them enough requisite points to be effective. So we'll see. What's your score on this one? Give me a score.
I'm still picking the Eagles. But I actually think it'd be a whole lot closer than a lot of people think. Give me 27-24.
Moving on.
27-24. Eagles.
Broncos travel to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs. Broncos playing for nothing. Chiefs literally playing for nothing, to be honest with you. Because as it stands, it looks like the Chiefs have wrapped up. They've done their job. The Chiefs have wrapped up. They've actually wrapped up home field, if I'm not mistaken.
No, not yet.
I know they've wrapped up the playoffs. They wrapped the division up. I apologize. Yeah. They wrapped up the division and the playoffs, so they've done their job. Right now, they're sitting one game above the Bills for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So yes, they're still playing for something. So with that being said, I think the Chiefs come out, they put a whooping on these boys because they're very susceptible to a whooping. DT Jones is out for the Broncos, as well as, let's see here. Let's see if we got any notables out.
I think Russ is out, ain't he?
Yeah, Russ is out. Calvin Anderson, Greg Dulcich, Randy Gregory, all out. Jerry Jeudy is questionable.
Man, this smells like now I've seen this a couple times back when I was an Eagles fan, man. This smells like it's something ripe for somebody to get some shit beat down their leg from Andy Reid and the boys, man. Yo, this has the smellings of 30-something to 3 at halftime. You got to back up. You already got a team down. They got a fired head coach. I want to say this is his first head coaching. The new interim head coach, this is his first time coaching.
Anything always happens with the new guy in the first game, though. You notice that? It's not the case today. Not happening today.
not today. I mean, they've showed me nothing. Like you said, in conjunction, in concert with all the injuries and everybody, man, that just looks like a bad shit sandwich, man. Bad shit salad. There's too many things into it that's bad right now, man. It's just not going to be. It's not going to be professional today. What I think is going to happen to them, I think they're going to go on the Arrowhead and really get shit stomped out of them, man. I think it gets late very early in Kansas City for the Denver Broncos, man. And I think it's a route, man. Andy Reid, this kind of stuff, man. Teams in turmoil, Andy Reid is the team. Oh, if you can't stop this, we're gonna smash you. And it just keeps going.
He's very petty. Him and
I
Bieniemy are very petty. They're very, very petty coaches, man. They're repetition coaches. Oh, you can't. Okay, well, you can't stop this. Okay, dial that up 15 more times.
Yeah.
That's just what they do.
Yeah, man. So I actually think, man, it'd be a stomping. I think it'd be a fest. Give me something like 38-3.
A stat game. It's a stat game.
Yeah, stat game, man. 38-3. They get some people off the bench in the game, and you ain't played all year, Sparky. You know, go get them. You know, go get them. You know,
I got the Chiefs as well. I got the Chiefs in the whip
right today.
This is my ass kicking of the day. This is my ass kicking of the day to the tune of maybe. I think it's probably going to be like 35 to maybe 7, man, 7 or 10. I don't get the Broncos any more than 10 points. So we'll see. But I got this as the ass whipping of the day. Next game on the docket at 1 o'clock, the Browns travel to Washington to play the Commanders. Interesting game. Browns playing for nothing. Commanders have to have this game. They're in a position where they control their own destiny for the last 2 games. How ironic is this? And I thought about this, that Carson Wentz is now the starter again, right? And if we dial back to exactly this time a year ago, he was going into a situation with the Colts where he had to win the last 2 games to make the playoff, right? And he fumbled the bag both games. Here we are. We fast forward to the exact moment in time, and where are we? He's got to win the last 2 games to make the playoffs. 2 winnable games. Well, this game here, they close out against Dallas, but when we look at everything in its totality, Dallas has already won. So the likelihood of them resting starters, knowing that, hey, if the Eagles win today, it's no way they can improve their standings. The likelihood of them winning these last 2 games is very possible. I just think that it's weird how life is, man. Full circle. And I think last week, him getting those reps against the Niners and the loss, it was, I would say this. The team has changed drastically since he was removed as a starter. They're running the ball much better. The offensive line has seemed to settle a bit. Not a great offensive line, but they've settled. The weapons have even emerged even more. Jahan Dotson is an animal out there. Curtis Samuel he's doing all the sneaky things. And, of course, Terry McLaurin. So I think Carson Wentz has the potential to write his story. He has the potential to write his story in this game. I think we win. I think they should win. I think they win handily, because I think, in my opinion, I think Carson comes out and has a big game today. I think he has a big game today, because I think the only thing holding Carson back today will be Carson and Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator. I think last week they realized that there is the possibility of this offense waking up at the right time. Scott Turner just has to dial up the right plays, and Carson Wentz has to make the right decision. He's got the requisite weapons. Get the ball out of your hands to the weapons and go. Skill positions is not the issue. This franchise has lacked stability at the quarterback position for a long time. Washington wins. How confident I am in that, I don't know. I think we win 28-14.
That's fair, man. That's fair. You said a lot of things in there that I agree with. One thing in there I think a lot of people gloss over that you said is it will be up to Carson Wentz to right the demons. And that's the thing. He's very talented. Everybody's seen that. But in these moments, a lot of Philadelphia fans will tell you these are the times that he will disappoint you the most. And I'm not saying he's going to do it today.
Oh, I understand.
These are the times when everything is lined up. Right, when everything is lined up.
It's just ironic.
It seems very ironic. But just like they say, all the lessons that you fail, all the things that you fail to address in your life, they always come back to you. Like you said, it came full circle for him. Ironically, last year he was in this same situation. Win and you're in. He didn't get the job done. He did not, well, as far as a lot of people say, he did not rectify those same things, those same demons that has haunted him all his career. This is the same exact situation, circumstances that Philadelphia said, oh, man, he's going to let you down. Indianapolis said, man, it didn't even take us that long, and he's going to let you down. And you say today, ironically, full circle, he is back at the same requisite point.
You can't write a better script.
You can't
Now,
write a better script, man.
Is it a horror movie or is it a feel-good story? I don't know. It's up to Carson.
It's up to Carson.
You're at home. You're at home.
Everything is lined up for you to rectify those demons. But there has been a lot of people that have seen a lot of Carson Wentz that will say, man, this is exactly the time that you're going to want to kick Carson Wentz in his big-ass fucking head for throwing the ball on the ground or holding the ball too long. I can't say what he's going to do today, but this is exactly the time when Carson Wentz goes Carson Wentz.
History tells us. History tells us.
But with that being said, even though I think Deshaun Watson and the fighting Cleveland Browns play a very professional, hard-fought football game today, I actually am going out on that limb, and I'm going out and picking the Carson Wentz-led Washington Commandos to win today. In a close one. I think it's going to be close because I think he may show you flashes of Carson Wentz being Carson Wentz, but I actually think he may be able to overcome some of those demons today and pull out a very hard-fought one, 24-20.
I think he turns up today. I think he turns up today to the tune of 3 to 4 tutties. I think he turns up today because at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to come down to today because I don't think you're going to get the requisite losses from other teams that put you in with a win today. So it's going to come down to having to win next week. And I think that's going to be the moment. That's going to be the moment. Moving on, we got the Cardinals versus the Falcons in Atlanta.
Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. You said the Falcons in the Dirty Birds.
They're in the A. Yeah, they're in the A.
Colt McCoy. I don't even know if it's Colt McCoy. I know it is Desmond Ridder starting for the Atlanta Falcons, and he actually has a nice little chemistry with Drake London. That might turn out to be something down the line if Desmond Ridder and can put his arms around that QB1.
Colt McCoy is out. He's in a concussion protocol.
Give me Atlanta.
There's no such thing as big game Carson at all. There is no such thing as big game Carson.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who said that. I'm sure that was said in just an irony, but I'm not sure if there is a such thing as big game Carson.
A little tongue-in-cheek action there.
Yeah,
let's get this one over with. I'm gonna go with the Falcons, man. I can't pick the Cardinals on the road against the Falcons right now. I got to go with the Falcons, man, in a tight one, 24-21. Yeah, I'll go with the Falcons. Who you got?
Yeah, I got the Falcons, man. I'm not sure how many points that Arizona's going to be able to put up. They probably won't get a tutty unless it's on special teams or some type of fumble or whatever taken back to the house. I'm not sure how many points that Atlanta can put up either, but I think they're in a better situation than Arizona is. I think it'd be something like 19-8. Give me 19-8 Atlanta.
Moving on, we got the Jags traveling to Houston to face the Texans. This is an easy one for me. Give me the Jags. I think the Jags beat the Texans. I think they beat them by I think less than a touchdown, definitely, because I think the Titans play hard today. But I think the Jags beat them. The Jags are, Jags still in the hunt, man.
They got a huge. Well, they playing. Well, next week their playoffs start because everything, all the marbles are next week. They'll be playing the Titans. I think this week, Doug Peterson even said it. He's not really a fan of stopping people and stopping their momentum and holding them out, because he's aware of nothing can be solidified today. Everything is, on the line for next week, but he's not a fan of, okay, well, let's just stop, shut it down and hold on for next week. You never know what's going to happen next week. Let's play today. Like we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We're worried about next week. When we come to next week, we're not a team that is really afforded the liberty of shutting anything down. We've had no success. We've just gotten some positive energy. We've just gotten, some wins. So we don't really have the resources and the latitude to be out here trying to stop anything we've got. So we got to be going full speed ahead so we can stay on course and on track and on par with what everybody else is going on. So I think they get a dub today. I think it's pretty handily because they're like, look, we got something to play for. We're not really laying down. I hope they get out unscathed so they can, everybody going in with all their guns blazing next week. But I think they get the dub today over those pesky Houston Texans.
Next game, excuse me. Niners versus Raiders. They travel to Las Vegas. I got the Niners in this one. I'm not going to waste a lot of time. I got the Niners in him, and I don't think it's a blowout, but I think the Niners just manhandle the Raiders. I think it's going to be to the tune of maybe like a 21-10, multiple sacks, things of that nature. So give me the Niners 21-10.
I'm kind of disappointed on the goings on and things that transpired in Las Vegas, man, and specifically for my fucking fantasy football team. I'm in the playoffs.
I am not. Boy, did I take a nosedive.
Well, I'm in the playoffs somewhere, Okay. I'm in the playoffs somewhere, and Devontae Adams is a very key cog in my lineup. And the guy who feeds him the ball, they just decided to send him the fuck home. So I'm like, I don't really understand what's going on in Vegas, man. And with that being said, man, I know they're not going to be able to muster up a lot of anything. And the Niners are a team that's definitely not, if you ain't on the level, man, we're not putting you on our level.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? We will hold you down like the little motherfucking kids you are. We will hold you to Mondays and Friday, Saturday, Sunday football like the JV you are, and they will pull this out. It'll
Nick
probably
Bosa,
be like a home game for them too.
I think Nick Bosa goes over. I think Bosa gets 2 sacks today. Strengthens his defensive MVP case. He goes because I think it was a foregone conclusion that Micah Parsons was going to win defensive MVP. A lot of people had him as the MVP candidate, but I think Bosa has made that a very interesting race. And today, I think he dominates. I think he gets in there, and I think he comes out with 2 sacks, man. And I think he goes what has he got, 17 and a half, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that.
I think he ends the season with over 20. And I think he, in a late surge, wins the defensive MVP. Yeah, I got the Niners in this one. Moving on, we got the Jets on the 4:00 tilt. The Jets travel to Seattle. Interesting game. Both teams sit at 7-8. Both teams need this game badly. They're both these teams are both still in the hunt. They Elmer Fudding it, man. They hunting. They're still in the hunt. They looking. They're in the weeds. They still there. I don't know about this one, Fresh. I don't know. We're gonna need Dr. Z on this one. I don't know about this game. This one, I've pulled for the Jets all year. I'm a big White Mike fan. I like what Robert Saleh is doing. They've hit some. It's weird. It's weird. I look at the Jets kind of like I look at my team. The quarterback has been the issue. Everything else is in place. And they had some key injuries. Of course, Breece Hall not being there. Big because he was going to be offensive rookie of the year. Breece Hall.
Probably.
This was weird because the Seahawks can be weird. It could be weird with Geno. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Jets, man. I'm gonna go with the Jets on the road. The Jets pull this one out. Squeaker. 21-17. Jets pull this out in a squeaker. Yeah, Jets pull it out in a squeaker. 21-17.
I gotta give Geno Smith his props, man. This like a lot of people said, man, this is the very first time he's actually had the chance to actually have a chance to play football. And he's done what the fuck he's need to do as a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I can't front, man. I thought it was going to be a little, well, they've regressed back to maybe where I thought they was going to be at. But it's not necessarily because of Geno Smith. Geno Smith's out there balling. I can't front on Geno. But that being said, man,
got a lot of they got a mash unit, man. Tyler Lockett is questionable. Kenneth Walker's questionable. The backup running back Travis Horner is questionable. They got a mash unit out here, man. This thing reads a mile long. Safety Ryan Neal is questionable. So you don't even know who's suiting up for these guys.
So I can't really put that on Geno Smith, man. But with that being said, I really like what Mike White or White Mike brings to the Jets. A couple weeks ago when he was playing right after Zach Wilson had got benched, the team got an extra jolt of energy. I mean, all 53 men in the practice squad, coaching staff, ball boys, managers.
He's a better Taylor Heineke. He's
right,
a better Taylor Heineke. Where he galvanizes the team.
Right, you know what I'm saying? That can take a team a little bit further than just regular football and regular energy can. And I know it can take it significantly further than the energy and what the vibes that Zach Wilson was giving off. So, from what I've seen of them and their talent, when Mike White plays, I say, man, they're a playoff team. And I actually think they go into Seattle and get the dub today, man. I think they get the dub.
We agree on that. That. Here's a weird game on a 4 o'clock slate. We got Skull Nation traveling to Lambeau to play the Cheeseheads. Packers, they Elmer Fudding it. You know, good old Aaron is he's still hunting. Man, I'm scared of this game. This game scares me. There's been a lot of talk too, the focus of the big matchup with Jair Alexander and Justin Jefferson. That's been a key matchup. Now, Jair Alexander is battling some nagging injuries. He's a full participation in practice, though. So I'm just curious how healthy he is coming into that very, very big. He's got to be at his best to face that guy. I'll tell you what. Give me the Packers in this one, and I'll tell you why. I think the Vikings walk into this one they already wrapped the division up. They've already wrapped up the playoffs. They're not really playing for much. And I think Aaron Rodgers has a little magic in him. Vikings don't necessarily care about this game. They are who they are. I don't think they get this one. I think give me the Pack in this one. And give me some Aaron Rodgers magic. Aaron Rodgers looks like vintage Aaron Rodgers in this one. And I think I will say, now the Vikings are a resilient bunch. But when you say you're resilient, that means you're in a lot of close games. They win a lot of close games. I think the Pack get this one because they playing with a sense of urgency. Give me the Packers to the score of 27-28. Give me a tight one. 27-28.
Aaron Rodgers is a guy you really can't put a whole lot of things past, man. He's a guy who can will his team to some great heights. He's a guy that can actually cover up some deficiencies. He's a guy that can actually put teams, cities, states on his back and go to.
Ramondre Stevenson is active too. He is active. Yeah, he is active. He's definitely active. Jalen Hurts is inactive. Lane Johnson is inactive. Colt McCoy, Bradley Chubb is inactive. Xavier Howard, cornerback for the Dolphins, is inactive. A lot of inactives just coming through. So, Tua's inactive. So yeah, we already said that one. So there's a couple things coming through late. We'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
But what I am saying today about the Green Bay Packers is they're at home, they're in Lambeau. If there's a time of the year to actually start putting it together and playing well, it's now.
No time like the present.
Yeah, no time like the present. I don't think that they are playing as good as some people think they're playing. And a lot of people seem to think that because Minnesota's in a lot of one-score games, a lot of people looked at that as a detriment. Me, myself, I say there are a lot of teams in a lot of one-score games. Their record isn't as good as the Minnesota Vikings.
Right, I agree. Good. That's a great point. Excellent point.
And what I will say is I think today will be a tough football game. I think Aaron Rodgers And the Green Bay Packers will defend every blade of grass in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Stadium today with all the valiance that you can muster up in one Wisconsin. But I do not think it will be enough to overcome a lot of people's dark horse MVP, Kirk Cousins, a lot of people's real MVP candidate, Justin Jefferson, and the Minnesota Vikings today. I got them going in the Lambeau, pulling this thing out. I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all. I think it might even be a back and forth game. You know, I think both teams might even go up by 10 points and still be at a deficit. I think it's going to be one of those games where I think it's just going to be fighting to the end. But I think Minnesota pulls it out 30-28.
Next game on the docket, Rams, Chargers. Rams travel to well, can you really call this traveling? I mean, I don't know if this is traveling. Rams versus Chargers. Chargers is quote unquote the home team. I picked the Rams last week, made me look great. They put up numbers. The buck stops here though. Chargers do dirty things to him today. I think you get a vintage Justin Herbert game. He's due for one of those games, one of those big fantasy games. I think Sean McVay is evaluating some things in the Rams right now. So they're playing for nothing. They're playing for draft position at this point. Chargers win big to the tune of, I'll say 28-13. Chargers win.
Yeah, I pretty much see it the same way, man. Of course, man, the Rams, they just out here, man. They trotting guys out there, you know, seeing what, you know, practice squad and OTAs, seeing who's going to fill in those spots for next year. They ain't got a lot planned for, you know. I hope Baker Mayfield is out there, you know, give us something to look at or whatever, but I really don't think they got enough in them. Give me the Chargers 30-6.
Okay. And we got the late tilt, the Sunday night game. We've got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to the Baltimore Ravens in an interdivision game. This is always tough. This is always hard to pick. Here's an interesting stat, though. Right now, we have a statistic that could be broken, a streak. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record. That is why Mike Tomlin can never do any wrong to me. When you have that kind of streak going in your team and you're doing that for a franchise, you've never had a losing. That means two things. It solidifies you as a great coach. Okay. This is beyond just having great players. You're a great decision maker because you're competitive every single year in and year out. Whether you're the best team or whether you're not the best team, you're always competitive. And that says a lot about this day and age of football. However, at 7-8, I think the streak stops this year. I don't think they go into Baltimore and take this one from the Ravens. The Ravens take this one. I think that it's an ugly game. I think it's an ugly game to the tune of like 13-10, something along those lines. Give me the Ravens 13-10, something like that. Low scoring game.
This game right here, man, it's also really rubs my stomach the wrong way, gives me a pit in my stomach. Lamar Jackson, who was playing so lovely in the beginning of the season, has been hurt for several games, throwing my fantasy football championship chances in jeopardy. I'm looking at Pittsburgh, and everything you said about Mike Tomlin, I totally 100% agree with. That man is a goddamn saint. I will not have any Mike Tomlin slander anywhere around me or anywhere. We just not going to have it.
Dickhead. Any Mike Tomlin? That's not my team. I have no ties to the Pittsburgh Steelers aside from, or rest in peace, Pop. That was his. He tried to convert me when I was young too. He tried to convert me. I had everything Pittsburgh Steelers. But with that being said, this is just an admiration for not just a black head coach, but a head coach, period. He's a model of consistency. So yes. I think even in that streak that I think is going to be broken this year, hey, man, fight me, dickhead, on that one. I'm no Mike Tomlin slander. I'm sorry. Look at the deck he's dealt with this year. Look at his deck.
Right.
They're competitive. They could win this game. I mean, when I say 13-10, 13-3, 13-6, they could win that game. That's a one or
that
two
means
play
they have a
game.
chance.
So, yeah, they could win that game.
Right.
So
That means
I
they
don't know.
have a chance. And
Who you got?
that's what
Who
I'm
you got?
saying. You know, with some of the things that got going on, man, I'm a big believer in momentum. I'm not a person who's into stopping what you. Hey, man, we keep this thing going until it stops. And they got a little something better going on than what Baltimore got going on today. And with Mike Tomlin still having a chance to hold on to his record of not having a losing season, and Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers still having an outside chance of getting into the playoffs, and Mike Tomlin still having a chance to beat up on his vaunted, hated division rivals, Baltimore Ravens. I think him, Cam Jordan, Cam Hayward, Najee Harris, Kenny Two Gloves get the dub today. I think they get the dub today. I think they get the dub today in a slobber knocker as well. I also feel like you ain't got to argue me down if Baltimore wins, but give me 16-13 Steelers.
Well, whoa, guys, this is a big one. Christian Watson is questionable with a hip injury, so that changes things big time for me. So I might want to strike that pick from the record because that's big. That just came in that Christian Wood is questionable with a hip injury. He's not going to be himself. He's going to test the injury pre-game. So keep an eye out on that one. And the final game of Week 17, this is a big one Monday night. Huge.
Colossal.
This is you plan around this particular game. We've got the Bills traveling to Cincinnati to play okay, so the Who Days, the Who Days.
You said this was Monday night?
It's the Monday night too. Is that Who Day Nation or Who Dat Nation? Are they the Dats or the Days?
Who that? I don't know. You know what?
No, the Saints are the Dats.
Who that?
The Bengals are the Days. Who Day?
Yeah, Bengals are Who They.
Yeah, okay.
Saints are Who that? Okay, got it. Who that? Okay.
Woo! They both playing for something. They're both playing. They're jockeying for position right now. This is about playoff positioning. I'm a big fan of Joe Burrow. Give me Joe Cool. Give me Joe Cool in an absolute classic game. 27-24. Who Days? Give me the Who Days. Give me Joey B in a classic Monday night clash. Bengals need this one for playoff positioning. But it don't see, you know what the weird thing is? It doesn't matter because they're the one team that I truly think can go into Arrowhead or go anywhere and win a playoff game. I don't think that bodes the same for Josh Allen, so they need this game. I don't think they get it today. Joey B is on his late season surge. Give me Joey Burrow and the Bengals.
This game right here, man, I'm not gonna lie. This is part of the trifecta that I look at as the top tier quarterbacks in the AFC. Joey B, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. I think Pat Mahomes is at the top of that triangle, but that trifecta right there is really, really, really serious to me. Those three guys right there to me, man, I don't really put anything past either three of those guys, man. Any three of those guys to me can go. They have the requisite resources within them to go anywhere where they play national football to win football games. Man, the one thing out of everything between the Cincinnati Bengals, the Buffalo Bills, Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, the thing that I always looked at the biggest chink in either of those teams' armor is the running game for the Buffalo Bills. I think you're going to need your running game. You don't even need to have a lot of success in it. I just think you have to do it more, and you will be successful at it with your running backs. This is the time of the year for you to have that. I don't think this is something that you just pick up overnight. So with that being said, I actually have Joey B, Cincinnati Bengals, and what we've now confirmed is the Houday Nation.
The Houday.
Buffalo Bills, 31-28 in a great game Monday night.
I think this is going to be a classic. Classic Monday night game. It's got all of these storylines, and it's got all of the requisite stars. This is the next generation of football right here, which you're going to be watching on display Monday night. This is the clash that'll be going on for the next 10 years. So enjoy it. I think it's going to be a good one. This is one you plan your schedule around. You don't want to plan anything Monday night. This is a must-watch game. So that wraps up week 17, also wraps up the Fire and Ice pregame experience. What's next on the docket for you, man? What you got? If we got an hour before game time, what you about to do, bro?
Well, like I always usually do, I actually got me some chips and dip already from last night.
What flavor dip we going with today? What dip we going with today?
Queso, baby. Queso.
Blanco or regular?
Blanco queso.
Blanco?
Queso Blanco. Queso Blanco, man. I love that, man. Mwah. Cold make queso Blanco.
Bro. I'm ready to go to
you
brunch.
know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, I just want to go over my last fantasy football lineup to make sure everything's in there. For this particular league I'm in, I had a bye last week. I got some injuries, so I might do some last minute waiver wires, but that's what I got going on.
I'm ready to go to brunch myself. I'm ready to go to brunch, man. Ready to get something to eat. This will be my first meal of 2023. You will see Coach in the gym, in them people's way, as they say. I'll be one of those New Year's resolutioners come tomorrow. Today, I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna eat a bunch of garbage today. This will be my last day. You'll see Coach do his, this is my normal thing. In the beginning of the year, I go back to Slim Phil. I got a whole different wardrobe for Slim Phil. I pull my other tank top, my other t-shirts out. So today it'll be a fat boy day, and then that'll be it, man. But I will be a fat boy today. Full slate of games, some interesting games today. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all rocking with the best. Y'all could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. The Fire and Ice pregame experience. We love y'all. Once again, Happy New Year from Coach Dr. Z, Fresh Go, Fresh Fire. We out. Take us out of here, bro. We live at the Fire and Ice podcast, man. And it's certain moments that you have when you do these things. And I think it's more the moment.
These guys came from Woodland, Delaware.
Where are you from?
Now, who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's
Listen, man, it's your boy